continuing on with this example, we're going to continue on with the example. So I've rewritten it. We have the expression we started with in the upper right, and then the equation that we solved for next to it. Well, we don't know anything about this. They didn't give us any focus, center, etc., etc. Let's see if we can't graph this thing. So first and foremost, let's identify the center. So x minus 1 is good. Squared, and so while we're at it, what squared gives me 1? Well, 1 squared, that gives me a squared. Over, how do you write y plus 2 as y minus something? Y minus a negative 2 will do the trick. Over, what squared gives me 4? Well, 2 squared is equal to 1. All right, so from here, we can identify that a is equal to 1. B is equal to 2. Since that is a bigger expression, this is going to be longer vertically. We're going to have our major axis in the vertical direction for the first time. So I said I was going to identify the center, and I have yet to do that. So let's just take a quick note. Now that we've rewritten it like that, we can see our center coordinates for x is 1 and y is negative 2. All right, so we got A and B. Now we need to find C. So one note here is where every single text switches A and B. So I think it's needlessly complicated to make A different every single time when the major axis is longer or vertically. So they actually give you like different formulas for this than I do. I always draw the picture and know what the triangle means, and you will always get the answer. So let's draw our triangle. Well, our triangle, in this case, the focus and the center are going to be vertical. So I'm going to put my center right here, center, and then my focus is going to be above it. And so do we know that? Yeah, we know what that value is. That's our B value. That's B is equal to 2. And, oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. I'm messing this up. What is the distance between the focus and the center? Well, that's the whole reason I use C squiggle for center. It's C, and we don't know that value. That's what we're trying to find here. Now I know that the x direction is the minor vertex. So that should be kind of shorter, probably. These don't have to be scale. A equals 1. And this x direction is A equals 1. And now, what is this distance from focus to minor vertex? That is the distance from center to major vertex, which in this case, since the major axis is in the vertical direction, that's going to be our vertical direction, and that's going to be B is equal to 2. Time to solve for C. C is equal to the hypotenuse squared. B is 2 squared. Subtract away the leg squared, 1 squared. 2 squared minus 1 squared gives me 4 minus 1 gives me root 3. And root 3, who knows what root 3 is? I don't know, 1 point something. We'll worry about that later. Okay. Let's do it. Let's draw this thing. Let's come up with some stuff. I do know some of the answers here, so I'm going to draw us a scale that will work, and it's going to need just the fourth quadrant. And I don't know, just 2 in the x direction will be fine, and 1, 2, 3, 4 in the y direction. 1, 2, 3, 4 in the y direction. Center, 1, negative 2. C squiggle. Go ahead and put in your axes. That helps us when we're plotting all the rest of the points. Okay, let's see. From my triangle, I can see that the distance from the center to the minor axis is just 1. A is equal to 1. So I'll go 1 to the left and 1 to the right, respectively at 0, negative 2, and 2, negative 2. And now, what do I know? I know that my B value, the distance in the vertical direction to the major vertices, are 2 up. So I'll go 2 up and land on the axis, and 2 down and land at the y value of negative 4 on my major vertex. Now, root 3, I'm going to tell you, is somewhere between 1 and 2. So root 3 is a distance of between 1 and 2. So if I start at my center and go up to my first vertex, or first focus, it's going to be somewhere between 1 and then a little further, not yet to the value of 2, and then down similarly to between the value of negative 3 and negative 4 in the y direction for my 2 foci. And we can see just on a quick sketch here that sure enough, this thing is longer in the vertical direction. Summarizing everything we know, we've already written the center above, our major vertices. In this case, I'm just going to write them next to it. Well, that's 1, 0. And our other major vertex is 1, -4. And then our minor vertices are 1, what's that, -2. And then the other guy is 0, -2. And then our foci here are going to be what? Well, the x-coordinate, I'm just looking at this. I'm not cheating on my notes. I'm just taking a look at the picture I have. Okay, x-coordinate is 1. There's no ambiguity there. Where do I start for the y-coordinate? Well, I start at the y-coordinate of the center, which is at -2. So we start at -2, and where do we go from that? We go up our distance of +3, and so we'll go up I said +3, our distance of √3, so we'll go up √3, and then to go down, we'll take -2 and go down √3 by subtracting √3. And you've done it. The last thing we could label are our axes, and this minor axis is y is equal to -2, and the major axis down here is equal to x is equal to 1.